Welcome to the Better Together podcast, where we look for ways we can work together to advance the cause of Free Will Baptist around the world. Today, I have Joshua Riggs with me. He's at the Bethany Church there in Oklahoma. He's also working with our music commission. So he has something he wants to share with us today. You can go to workshops at the National. You can do various Zoom conferences and so forth. But one of the things the Music Commission is working on is a project where churches can apply to have an experienced worship leader, or maybe even two of these worship leaders, come to their church to offer customized training there at their church or in their area, and be able to offer some practical application for the context of their church. And Josh, they could also utilize the services of the Media Commission as well. So tell us about this exciting opportunity that's being made available to so many of our churches right now.
Thank you, Dr. Moody, for having me on the podcast, and thanks for all the episodes. I forget, you're like so many episodes in. It's incredible how many episodes. You just keep pushing them out. So well done on all this content. It's really helpful. So I appreciate that.
We need to praise Ryan, and we also need to praise you, because I think you recorded like 25 of these podcasts in one day, which has been highly regarded. All of the tech information that you put out, we appreciate you doing that. And it's really helped a lot of our folks in many ways.
Yeah, that's awesome. So yeah, we're excited. And the Music Commission, we've been dreaming and planning. You know, our mission is to help the everyday person become a better worship leader. That's really what we're trying to do. And so last year we launched FWBworship.com, and we're excited about that. We have some more plans for new content for that site. But there is a point where a video or an article, it can be very helpful, but if you can have somebody come that is experienced or knowledgeable and actually come and give you very hands-on, customized training, that's invaluable in a lot of ways. And so that's really what the Onsite worship workshops will do. As you said, churches can apply to basically have one of us, an experienced worship leader, come to their church to work with their worship teams. And so on the very front end, though, we want to make sure that we communicate we're not trying to change your church or your music style. That's not what this is about. This is about taking you from where you are and helping you improve in your specific areas. And so we plan to work with the pastor and whoever the worship leader is. We'll just call them worship leader for that. You know, sometimes they're called music minister, or choir leader, choir director. We'll just call them worship leader. Whoever that person is, we'll work very closely with them and then customize content for their context to help with their choir if they have a choir, or help their praise team, or help their instrumentalist if they have an orchestra or a band, or maybe they just have a piano and organ. We'll work with them, or maybe work with whoever plans the service to put together a service that flows smoothly, and talk about service planning. Basically, we can customize the content to whatever the church needs. And so there obviously will be a spiritual emphasis for the weekend. There will be some very practical things. And really, we see this as just the start of an ongoing relationship. And so how it works is, if you're listening to this, the applications are open. You can go to FWBworship.com, FWBworship.com, and you can click to apply to be selected as one of the churches that we help out. So the application process won't take long. It'll take you about 15 minutes to fill out an application. But unfortunately, we can't do this for every church. But we do want to help some churches. And so, and every church that applies is going to get some custom training for their church. So even if your church is not selected, you will still be able to get on a Zoom call with a couple of worship leaders with your ministry teams to really just talk about anything that you might need some advice on or help with. But the churches that are selected, we're going to try to do 6 to 8 churches a year. That's what we feel like is feasible, especially for this first year, you will be considered a host church, and the host church will be responsible to sort of organize your personnel, your choir members or your praise team or your worship leaders. You'll organize them for a weekend, and we think probably Friday and Saturday will be the best option. So like a 2-day weekend where we will gather at your church and we will walk through and talk through some of the things about worship, the biblical basis for worship, and why those who are helping to lead worship or play an instrument, why they're so important. And then we'll get into some practical things. Like I said, we'll customize this content based on your needs, but practical things like how to plan a service, or how to lead a rehearsal, or how to communicate with inexperienced instrumentalists. Really the sky's the limit on the content, and we'll work with you to develop that content. And then when we leave, at least our vision for this is you will have sort of like a shot in the arm almost with your worship ministry, to where you'll be able to take your worship ministry to that next level. And so you mentioned the media commission. So we're actually partnering with the media commission. So as part of the application process, if you want, you can say that you want to have the media commission come as well to be a part of this weekend, and the media commission will be able to work with your tech team, your audiovisual team, those who run sound or do lighting or help with your live stream, and they will customize their training towards your needs as well. So we feel like it's a really great opportunity for some of you to get some biblically based customized training for your church ministry to really give you a boost both in music and media.
That's great. And though this is a new program, some of you have done some of this kind of work with churches in the past. So you've done a lot of work, especially during COVID, with many of our churches, and some of the other guys on the music and media commissions have done so as well. So you're kind of you kind of have done this a bit. It's not your first rodeo, so to speak. I can say on the other side, when I first became a pastor, I invited Scott Bullman. He came out from Broken Arrow,
right,
and basically did what you guys are talking about doing. He worked with our choir, he worked with our musicians and so forth. We didn't have anyone at that time, that was full-time, if you will, working with the music. And it ended up giving us templates, things that we could do. And it was certainly a shot in the arm. And I think this will be a great shot in the arm to the various churches that participate. I like what you said. So you may not get chosen, but so many churches that the music commission can go to. But you guys have stepped out and said, but we'll provide something to other folks. We'll try to do something via Zoom. That's pretty valuable too, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah. We just don't want to say no to anybody. Well, sorry, you didn't make it. No, we want to offer what we can to you. And all of us on the music commission obviously have our own full-time jobs and, are involved in our own ministries. So there's a limit to our availability. But part of this plan is the host church. We will encourage the host church to invite other churches in their area to be a part of this weekend. So if you are selected as a host church, we're going to encourage you to reach out to other Free Will Baptist churches, or maybe just other Bible-believing churches in your area that could benefit from this content, and get them to be involved in this weekend, this workshop, so that as many people as possible, especially Free Will Baptists, can benefit from the content, from the training. So the customized content will be for the host church, but let's say there's two other churches that are within a 15-minute drive or 30-minute drive. They can invite their ministry teams to come and be a part of it as well. And so we're excited about the possibility of it.
And we know we've got several associations, there are conferences, if you will. This might be something for you all to think about, and maybe a little easier to take care of the financial aspect.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows, with the selection process, it may give you a little bit of a leg up on others if you're able to impact more churches, more believers in your area. So this
Yeah,
is great.
so the application process, as I said, you go to FWBworship.com to apply, and the Music Commission will select the host churches. But we're looking at the size of ministry, and by that I don't mean large. I mean small to medium size. That's sort of our target audience. We're also looking at the proximity to other Free Will Baptist churches, and then of course your participation in the National Association. So we're looking at those three things as to help decide which churches will receive the training. And you mentioned the financial aspect of it. We've gone back and forth over it, through this. Looked at it through every angle. We've talked to some local church pastors and got their opinion on this, and we've settled on $500 for the Music Commission. So, and basically that's just going to cover travel expenses and hotel for the presenter. And any additional expenses, the Music Commission is going to cover as part of our ministry, as part of our budget. So basically for $500, plus you'll provide, as the host church, you would provide snacks and maybe a meal for your team there, and any print materials and that sort of thing you'll be responsible for. But the $500 will cover the expenses. And then if you select the Media Commission as well, that would be an additional $500. So at the most would be $1,000 to get really quality training, very specific training for your ministry that could really help you for years to come, honestly. And I'm not saying that because I might come to your church, because we were talking about Doug. I mean, can you imagine having Doug Little come to your church and talk to your worship team about worship ministry? I mean, he's a legend, right?
Yeah.
So
how he feels about being called a legend, but he maybe make him feel old, but that's okay.
Sorry, Doug, if you're listening to this, but Doug knows I love him. So,
Yes.
so 6 to 8 churches, that's what we've said. And maybe you're in a position, you say, we really could benefit from this content, but that $500, we just don't think we can swing it. In the application process, you'll have a place to put that, any of those concerns. And the Music Commission is going to fund either one or two. We're just going to fully fund one of these weekends so that there's no cost at all for the church. So we don't want that to be a hindrance from you applying. And as I said, every church that applies is going to get some customized training, a 2-hour session with us where we can talk about ministry, we can talk about music, we can talk about service planning, really anything you want to talk about. We'll do our best to help you in those areas.
Well, that's great, Josh. Thanks for sharing that, and thank you for the good work you and the Music Commission and also the Media Commission in this case are doing. This is great work that you all are putting out for our folks, and we appreciate it a lot.
Thank you. Yeah. So go to FWBworship.com right now and apply for an on-site worship workshop.
And we appreciate you all listening today. Now, you may be tempted not to share this podcast because you don't want to compete against other churches. Share it anyway. It's what the Lord would have you to do. Share it, like it on YouTube. And remember, we're better together. So everything that we do together, working together, helping each other, it furthers the cause of Christ. So let's do that. Thank you for joining us today.